Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel Future Way Next. We hope you're doing great. Today we talk about new Prime Minister Mark Carney's immigration strategy. As newly appointed Prime Minister Mark Carney takes office, one of the most pressing issues on his agenda is immigration, with Canada's economic future, labor shortages and housing crisis all tied to immigration policy. Carney's plan has sparked both excitement and controversy. Will his approach usher in a new era of economic growth and stability, or will it create unforeseen challenges that strain the system? Mark Carney's immigration plan, a game changer or a risky gamble? Canada is undergoing a major political shift, and with it comes a transformation in immigration policy that could redefine the country's economic and social landscape. After nearly a decade of leadership under Justin Trudeau, Canada has a new Prime Minister, Mark Carney, who is already making bold moves in reshaping immigration. The question on everyone's mind is, will Carney's approach bring much-needed balance to the system, or will it create new challenges for businesses, immigrants and the economy? How Canada got here. A look at the immigration landscape. For decades, Canada has relied on immigration as a key driver of economic growth, labor market expansion and demographic stability. Major cities such as Toronto, Vancouver and Montreal have thrived as multicultural hubs, attracting skilled workers, entrepreneurs and students from around the world. In the early 2000s, annual immigration levels ranged between 200,000 and 271,000 new permanent residents. However, under Trudeau's leadership, those numbers skyrocketed. By 2022, Canada welcomed over 400,000 permanent residents, along with more than 600,000 non-permanent residents, including temporary foreign workers and international students. While this influx helped to fill critical labor gaps, it also placed immense pressure on housing, healthcare and public services as affordability concerns mounted. Public sentiment began to shift. A 2019 poll revealed that 63% of Canadians supported capping immigration levels to ensure the country could sustain its growing population. In response to these concerns, the Liberal government announced plans in October 2024 to reduce immigration targets, signaling a significant shift in policy ahead of the federal election. The leadership shift: Trudeau out, Carney in. Trudeau's departure from office in early 2025 came after mounting criticism of his handling of economic and immigration policies, with housing prices at record highs, healthcare wait times worsening and growing dissatisfaction among voters. The Liberal Party saw the need for a new direction. Enter Mark Carney, a former governor of the Bank of Canada and the Bank of England, is known for his expertise in economic policy and financial stability. His leadership represents a stark contrast to Trudeau's more globalist approach. Instead of focusing on large-scale immigration to drive economic expansion, Carney's administration is prioritizing economic stability, infrastructure capacity and workforce alignment. But what exactly does this mean for Canada's immigration policies? Mark Carney's immigration policies. What's changing? One of the most significant shifts under Carney's leadership is a reduction in permanent residency targets. While the previous government planned to welcome 500,000 new permanent residents per year by 2025, the new administration is scaling back these numbers. Instead, immigration levels will be reduced to 395,000 in 2025, with further cuts bringing the number down to 365,000 by 2027. This shift marks a move towards a more controlled and selective immigration system. Temporary residents are also facing stricter regulations. In January 2024, the government implemented a 2-year cap on international student permits to curb the rapid influx of students, which had been contributing to housing shortages and job market saturation in certain industries. While intended to stabilize the economy, this policy has sparked debate over whether it will negatively impact Canada's higher education sector and local economies that rely on student populations. Balancing labor market needs with immigration caps. Despite reducing overall immigration levels, Carney's administration is prioritizing skilled labor in critical industry sectors facing severe workforce shortages, such as healthcare, skilled trades and technology. Will see a streamlined immigration process to ensure Canada can attract the talent it needs. The government is implementing faster processing times for these applicants while tightening restrictions on programs that do not directly align with labor market needs. However, critics argue that this targeted approach may not be enough to counterbalance the effects of reduced immigration. Businesses reliant on a steady flow of skilled workers worry that labor shortages could worsen, driving up wages and potentially slowing economic growth. For instance, the construction industry, already struggling with workforce shortages, could see delays in new housing developments, exacerbating the very housing crisis the government aims to address. Similarly, the healthcare sector, which depends heavily on foreign-trained doctors, nurses and specialists, may face additional strain if Immigration restrictions limit the arrival of medical professionals. With Canada's aging population, ensuring a steady pipeline of healthcare workers is crucial to maintaining quality care and preventing further stress on the system. While stricter immigration policies hurt Canada's economy, while lowering immigration targets may relieve short-term pressures on housing and public services, there are concerns about the long-term economic impact. Immigration has historically been a driving force behind Canada's workforce growth, and a reduction in newcomers could create labor shortages in essential industries. One of the biggest challenges Canada faces is its declining birth rate. With fewer young workers entering the labor force, immigration is critical to sustaining economic growth and funding public programs such as pensions and healthcare. A smaller workforce means fewer taxpayers, which could put financial strain on government resources. Carney acknowledges these risks, which is why his administration is emphasizing a more strategic approach instead of large-scale intakes. Canada is focusing on attracting high-skilled professionals in key sectors while keeping overall immigration levels more manageable. However, the success of this strategy depends on whether Canada remains competitive in the global talent market. Countries such as the United States, Australia, and Germany are ramping up efforts to attract foreign professionals. If Canada imposes too many restrictions, it risks losing top talent in nations with more flexible immigration policies. What lies ahead? Can Canada strike the right immigration balance? Carney's leadership marks a recalibration of Canada's immigration policies, aiming to strike a balance between economic needs and infrastructure realities. The goal is to ensure that newcomers have access to jobs, housing, and essential services without overwhelming existing systems. But is this the right balance? So that's all for today. Please share in comments and follow for new video. See you next video and take care.